Up until now, you might have thought that draft control was a new policy down at the bank. Actually, it's a way to shape your sails to match the wind speed and point of sail. Let's begin by looking at the mainsail and the controls used to give the main a good, efficient shape. The draft, or amount of curvature in the mainsail, determines the degree of aerodynamic force the sail develops. For light air, a powerful full shape is called for to keep the boat moving. When the wind picks up, a flatter shape is needed to keep the boat on its feet. Draft or curvature is removed from the upper portion of the sail by bending the mast. The lower portion of the sail is flattened by pulling on the outhaul. Another important factor in controlling mainsail shape is the location of maximum draft. The textbooks tell us that the optimum point of maximum curvature in the mainsail is about 50% back from the leading edge of the sail. The location of maximum draft in the mainsail is adjusted by tensioning the luff. Tensioning the luff moves draft forward. In this view of the main, the luff is too loose. This is evident by the obvious wrinkles in the forward part of the sail and the position of maximum draft, which is well aft of middle. The easiest way to tension the luff is to pull on the Cunningham. If your boat isn't equipped with a Cunningham, you can accomplish the same thing by cranking up the main halyard. As the luff is being tensioned, the point of maximum curvature moves forward and the leading edge wrinkles disappear. The sail looks better and is drawing more efficiently. Another important mainsail control, which determines angle of attack, is the traveler. Exactly where to position this device seems to be a mystery to a great many people. A good general rule for light to moderate winds is to adjust the traveler so that the boom is on the center line of the boat. Normally, centering the boom requires the traveler to be positioned slightly to weather, as you see on your screen. If the wind picks up and the boat angle of heel is greater, the helmsman may notice an increase in weather helm, or the tendency of the boat to head up into the wind. To remove weather helm and balance the boat, ease the traveler downwind a few inches until the helm again feels comfortable. Remember, the best indicator of correct traveler adjustment is the balance of the helm. Main sheet tension controls the set of the leech, or trailing edge of the mainsail. If the main sheet is too loose, the after portion of the sail will be too flat. If it's too tight, the leech will curve to weather excessively. Both extremes will produce an inefficient aerodynamic shape. With the main sheet set much too loose, the leech has very little curvature and is set too far to leeward. Crank in on the main sheet to add curvature to the leech of the sail. A good general rule is to tension the main sheet until the top batten is parallel to the boom. With main sheet tension added, the leech has a fair curve to it, and the sail is aerodynamically correct. Another good indicator of mainsail trim and leech set are the leech telltales. If your main isn't equipped with telltales, add them. If all the telltales are flying, it's a good indication that the traveler position and the main sheet tension are correct. Remember, tension the main sheet until the top batten is parallel to the boom. In this view of our demonstration boat going to weather, the wind is blowing about 10 to 12 knots. As wind speed increases above this range, it's important to know how to flatten the main to reduce heeling forces and keep the boat on its feet. As we mentioned earlier, draft or curvature is removed from the lower portion of the mainsail by cranking out the outhaul. With reduced draft, aerodynamic side forces will be reduced and the boat will sail flatter. The necessity to reef may be avoided or delayed. Draft may be reduced from the upper portion of the sail by bending the mast. This is accomplished by tensioning the baby stay. If your boat doesn't have one, don't worry about it too much. Chances are your sailmaker allowed for this when he constructed your mainsail. As the wind increases to 15 knots or more and the angle of heel is beyond what is comfortable, the best way to keep the boat on its feet is to reef the main. This is easily done if your boat is equipped with Jiffy Reefing. Let's begin by looking at a Jiffy Reefing setup and then review the steps involved in tying in a reef. The hardware consists of a reefing line which is run up through a clew cringle, around a block near the end of the boom, and up to a winch, and a hook or puller to secure the tack when the sail is lowered. When the time comes to reef, start out by making sure the topping lift is attached. This is to prevent the boom from falling when the main halyard is released. Next, ease the main sheet to get the wind out of the sail so that it can be lowered. The next step requires 2 crew members to accomplish efficiently. The crew member on your left is releasing the main halyard to a predetermined point and pulling down on the luff to establish the new tack. The crew member on your right is winching in the reefing line to secure the new clew. When the sail has been lowered sufficiently, secure the halyard and reef line. The new tack is secured, in this case using the Cunningham, and tensioned to remove the wrinkles from the luff. Roll up the foot and tie in the reef points using a reef knot. Don't make the ties too tight, as this may produce stress points along the foot of the sail. The last step is to crank in on the main sheet to get the wind back in the sail. With the mainsail reefed, total sail area and sail area aloft are reduced, resulting in considerably less heeling force. On a masthead boat with a large 4-triangle, such as our demonstration boat, the Genoa provides most of the forward driving power, especially when sailing close-hauled. Like the mainsail, the Genoa can be shaped and flattened to match the wind speed and conditions. The optimum location of the point of maximum draft in the Genoa is about 40% back from the leading edge of the sail. This differs from the optimum location in the mainsail, which is about 50% back. Draft location is controlled by tensioning the luff. Cranking in on the Genoa halyard moves the draft forward, letting it out moves the draft aft. A common mistake made, especially by a young enthusiastic crew member, is to over-tension the Genoa halyard when the sail is being raised. A strong sailor, aided by the mechanical advantage of a powerful winch, can permanently distort the luff of an expensive sail. A good rule to follow when raising any sail is to tighten the halyard to the point where the luff wrinkles just disappear. In this view of the Genoa luff, the pronounced horizontal wrinkles indicate the halyard is too loose. Crank it up to get the wrinkles out and move the draft to the right place. Probably the most important control in determining correct Genoa shape is the sheet lead position. If the sheet lead is too far forward, the leech will be tight and the bottom of the sail will be excessively full. If the sheet is too far aft, the top portion of the sail will have excessive twist. It's a lot easier to determine correct Genoa sheet lead position if you have a method to adjust it while under sail. The crew is demonstrating one approach. Set a spare block in the new position and run the lazy sheet through it to an extra winch. Tension the lazy sheet and ease the sheet to establish the new lead position. The best way to tell if the sheet is in the right position is by examining the telltales along the luff. If the telltales break evenly from top to bottom when the boat is headed up, the lead position is correct. If the upper telltales break prematurely, move the lead forward. If the lower telltales break first, move it aft. As the wind picks up in speed, a flatter headsail is needed to reduce heeling force. Flatten the Genoa by tensioning the backstay to reduce headstay sag. Never exceed the recommended pressure limit. In this view, the backstay has been completely eased and the forestay has a considerable amount of sag. As the backstay is tensioned, forestay sag is reduced considerably and the sail has less draft. If your boat doesn't have a backstay tensioner, it's best to keep the backstay adjusted tight for the higher wind conditions and accept the inefficiency which will exist at lower wind speeds. When going from a beat to a reach, there are a number of adjustments which should be made to keep the sails drawing at peak efficiency. In addition to easing the Genoa sheet and the mainsail traveler to get the telltales flying again, the main Cunningham and the outhaul should be eased to get the draft in the right place and make the sail fuller for the reaching position. Likewise, the Genoa halyard should be eased and the backstay let out to relocate the point of maximum draft to the correct position and add fullness to the sail. When going from a reach to a broad reach, everything is eased out even further. The best indication that the sails are trimmed properly on this point of sail are still the main and Genoa telltales, so play with the sails to get them flying. Off the wind, the boom bang becomes an important control to limit mainsail twist and keep the upper part of the main drawing efficiently. Tension the vang to get the leech telltales flying evenly. To sail further off the wind than a broad reach, you'll probably want to put up a spinnaker, which happens to be the subject of our next sequence.